I want you to erase all knowledge of yourself, your race, gender, favorite food, which Real Housewives franchise you prefer. Leave all of your interests and experience at the door. Now, traditionally, school is set up assuming students can do this when they step into the classroom. Not only is it unrealistic, it's unfair. Education is the greatest human equalizer, and in a deeply divided society, education may be one of the few forms of alleviation. But if we're unintentionally offering instruction through a limited scope, we're already limiting that potential and our students. We're often so focused on compliance, we don't examine elements that are actually connected to achievement, like cultural competence. When a lesson is relevant, the student becomes a learner. Their interests are sparked and their brains ignite. And that is how we close the achievement gap. Include learners in their own learning. Groundbreaking stuff, right? As demographics shift and access to technology increases, we have to develop relevant and responsive instruction, and educational technology gives us an abundance of opportunities to do just that. Culturally responsive teaching focuses on students' cultural knowledge and frames of reference. So if we're going to meet the needs of our students and communities, we have to know who they are. Open the lines of communication. Use Google Voice to share a phone number. Even if someone leaves a message in a language you're not familiar with, you can plug the transcript of that text into Google Translate. Maybe they're not quite comfortable with communicating with school officials. Have an ongoing Google form where anyone can send info, ask questions, or provide suggestions anonymously. We can further strengthen relationships and connections with families by utilizing digital communication they're comfortable with, like using YouTube Live to virtually bring families into the school for special events or just to showcase learning. And just like we create inviting classrooms, we need to create inviting digital learning environments. On our websites, include text-to-speech and translation tools, provide accessible information through multiple means, like interactive images with ThingLink. In the classroom, integrate high-quality digital content into instruction. Take virtual field trips, create interactive learning opportunities with AR and VR that both engage and serve a purpose. Let students guide their own journey, both into learning and around the world, because both are theirs. Speaking of theirs, build digital vocabularies. I'm basically trilingual, as I'm fluent in both emoji and GIF, or GIF if you say the word wrong, and so are our students. Communicating in ways they easily understand makes our messages clearer and more personal. Speaking of personal, use technology to personalize learning. Develop and organize coherent and relevant activities and projects that build upon students' cultural backgrounds and life experiences. Promote student voice and choice. Let them decide how to show what they know with or without a device. Enable students to communicate and collaborate with audiences, including peers and experts, locally and around the country and world, using tools like Google Hangouts, ePals, and Skype. Honor individualism while facilitating collaboration, especially among diverse groups, using tools like Jamboard or Padlet. Set and communicate high expectations custom to each student, and encourage them to take ownership of their performance. Show them how to access grades digitally. Explain how data works, but make them more than a number, because a teacher's effectiveness is not the growth of a score, but the growth of a student. Provide meaningful feedback, like personalized videos in Screencastify, comment threads in G Suite. Use a collaborative doc to serve as a journal where the students can safely document and reflect, and you can personally support and guide their growth. In addition to all of this, there's one specific place we all need to start, and that's within ourselves. Reflect on what we know and what we don't know. Examine our own bias and judgment, and explore where there's room to learn. Have tough conversations with ourselves and others. Growth can't happen if we're stagnant. For me, for example, I wasn't entirely sure of where hip-hop fit into school, besides the usual write a rap about blank or rap Shakespeare, but I knew the kids loved it. And who can deny hip-hop's longevity and reach? I mean, have you heard of a Broadway show called Hamilton? So instead of avoiding it or ignoring it, let's use its power to empower. Our students' cultures, interests, and backgrounds can no longer be left out of learning. When we know better, we do better, and we have the power and the potential to involve and empower all learners. So let's do it. Thank you.